E-scooters and e-bikes, a green transport revolution, freeing our cities from gridlock, or a lawless public safety hazard, terrorising our pavements and triggering deadly house fires. Welcome to Riff Raff News. Well, what do you think, Guy? E-scooters and e-bikes. We've got quite a few of them now in this country, haven't we? And in 2025, e-scooter road collisions in Britain caused 10 registered deaths and 1,484 notified injuries. Did you know that?
No, I didn't realise it was that high. Yeah.
UK fire services recorded 432 e-bike battery fires as well. You know, when you get your e-bikes and you charge them up, apparently there's quite a lot of these batteries that are produced in China that haven't got the software inside them. The more expensive ones, if they can feel that they're overheating, they cut out. But apparently with the cheap ones, they don't.
Yeah.
So they're illegal. I don't know whether you knew that. E-scooters in this country. Privately owned e-scooters are entirely illegal to ride in public. So it's only the ones that are available via the councils. You know, you can get them in loads of different cities now that you can legally use and only on the roads. Have you ever tried one?
No, I don't trust myself anymore. I've been on a scooter where you just push it along with your leg.
Yeah.
And the kids have got them, grandkids, I should say.
How long ago was that then? Was back in the 1960s?
Yeah, back in the 1960s. And I'm now having my second child because the grandkids or third child, the grandkids have got them. And they're now of a size where the scooter's actually quite substantial. But never been on an e-bike, never been on an e-scooter. But as you get old, you sort of suck your teeth when you see somebody, as I did this morning, on what you would say is a council, a properly licensed e-scooter, zigzagging between the traffic.
Yeah.
At a fair speed, is it 15 miles an hour or something they can go, and no crash helmet. And so other than on the road, damage to other vehicles, the real worry is that if they come off, there's not much between them and the tarmac. And so I'm not surprised that, you know, we've had 10 deaths and goodness knows how many injuries. No. And those they've been reported. What about those that don't get reported?
Yeah. I mean, those 10 were all it wasn't anybody else. Those were the riders of the scooters who died, unfortunately.
Crikey.
But I mean, the interesting thing is the one you saw, was it this morning you said you saw one?
Yeah.
Did that look as though it was an official one, or did it look as though it was a privately owned scooter?
No, it was in a bus lane as well, to start with. It didn't look branded. It was black.
Right. So it looks as a private one then in that
It was a private one, but it just looked dangerous. Now, I know when you're sort of 17 years old, you think you're indestructible, don't you? And if you've got one, it's a nice cheap way from A to B.
Yeah.
When you can't afford the bus fare. So I get it, but it does just look like a public health hazard.
Yeah, I think that this is the problem. One of the problems is that there are lots of pros and cons, but one of the problems is that some of the bikes and some of the scooters have had their limitations altered. So most of them are only meant to go up to 15 miles per hour. But if you buy from abroad, I know from our experience, my other half had a bike sent to her, which when it was all put together by a professional over the road, they put the limiter on, but they don't necessarily come with that. And you can switch those off so that some of these e-bikes, especially, you can travel along at 30, 40 miles an hour.
They're like motorbikes, aren't they?
Absolutely.
I saw driving through Bristol in the winter, I saw a gang of them, some guys all dressed in black, all with balaclavas on, all with black bikes.
Yeah.
Were weaving in and out the traffic on the main road. It was quite intimidating, actually. I don't know whether they were just joyriding or on to do something somewhere else, but it was a sort of a gang feel about it.
Yeah. They've been using them in London for exactly that, haven't they? To steal phones.
Oh, yeah.
As a getaway vehicle, effectively.
Yeah, because it can go so many places, can't it? Where anyone chasing, you can't, much faster than someone on foot trying to catch them.
Yeah. So I saw a report the other day on the news that was saying that they've now got police out in London who are actually setting up on pavements, I guess, as well, what are effectively roadblocks. And if you're riding an e-scooter that isn't one of the public ones, they're taking it away and they're crushing it. And similarly with the e-bikes, if the e-bikes aren't, are over and above what they're allowed to be in terms of the speed they're allowed to travel at, they're taking those away. However,
Yeah.
on the plus side with these things,
Yes.
as you quite rightly pointed out just now, everywhere else in Europe, they're legal. The scooters we're talking about now, they're licensed in France. In France, for example, you get a plate on the back, the same as you would for a motorbike. So you have to pay a certain amount a year to be licensed, but you can have one. You can't ride on the pavement, which is what a lot of people are doing in this country, but they are carbon friendly, aren't they? Because obviously they don't, they're cheap to run. They will get you from A to B, especially in the big cities, as you quite rightly pointed out, maybe weaving in and out of different traffic. And you could, but then I suppose you get that with motorbikes anyway, don't you? Weaving in
you
and out of
do.
traffic.
No, but at least a motorcyclist has a helmet on.
Yeah.
And they are licensed. So if they did do something daft, at least you've got a license plate that you can have a chance at holding them to account.
Well, that's what the French do. So maybe that's something that we ought to be looking into. I don't know why we're not doing that. You can't take them on Transport for London, which is interesting, which I'm very surprised about. You'd think you'd be able to, the collapsible ones, you'd think you'd be able to put them onto the buses, wouldn't you, and onto the underground?
It reminds me of these people who have these Bromptons,
these
very small, and it looks like it's like 20 kilos. And they put it on a thing, and then you get to Paddington, put it on, and then they tiny little wheels, and they're pedaling like bonkers, like a mouse on a wheel. And I think, okay, I get it. Yeah, I can see why you do that, and you don't want to go on the tube. But crikey.
Well,
that's a lot of effort.
The trouble is with those, I think they look a bit ridiculous. Somebody can walk alongside them and go faster, can't they? They're going from Waterloo Underground Station just across the bridge or what have you, and they're just bizarre. I think it's a fashion statement more than anything else.
I've no idea, but I don't know. You can't leave it, can you? Because it's probably worth a few £100.
No.
So you've got to stay with the Brompton, which means you can't put it on the seat next to you at peak, can you?
No,
because somebody's going to say, "Sorry, that Brompton hasn't bought a ticket, but I have." But anyway,
Brompton. I can remember a friend of ours, a mutual friend, who had a mini Moulton. Do you remember that's what they used to be called, mini Moultons? Do you remember that in the 70s?
Oh yes,
yeah, they folded in the middle and what have you. Yeah. But his broke in half as he was cycling along on it.
Well, at least it folded.
Yeah. But coming back to the serious point, I think we ought to be moving towards what the French are doing, and we ought to be licensing them. We ought to maybe taking a charge in terms of, and then we'll know who's doing what. And they need to be maybe, like we have an MOT on cars. You could take them in maybe once a year to a registered person who deals with these sort of things to make sure that they're all in order and no speed limits are being broken as a result of that. And so it would be self-financing, and maybe even make a bit of money out of it. Who knows? The government could even overcharge for a license and put some more money into Mr. Healy's treasury. But I don't know. Anyway, you've still got time to go out and get 30-mile-an-hour ones before they bring in any regulations.
Yeah, I'll bear that in mind.